Joe Leigh for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by Kalle Sauerland. Just had the Battle of the Northeast press conference here.
Yes.
Troy Williamson versus Josh Kelly. Talk to us
Battle
about
of
how
the
you think
Northeast.
that.
Actually, we're calling it Judgment Night.
Yeah, we are.
Because I've done so many Judgment Days over the years. I thought we'd go with Judgment Night. So, yep, very excited. It's a fight that sells itself in a way. So many different talking points around it. The reaction huge. December the 2nd, Newcastle. The atmosphere will be, despite it being December, will be red hot, or black or red hot, depends which way you look at it. I've got to be careful there. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a fight that so many people thought would be difficult to make. I'm telling you, this fight was easy to make. It was easy to make because they both won it. I think that from our side, of course, from Josh's side, this is the perfect fit to the end of a very important year in his career, and we believe we'll be victorious on December the 2nd and go on and conquer the world from there.
You say
in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, you say it was easy to make, but these fights don't always happen, especially at this stage of Josh's career. He's mentioned how he wants to go on to world title fights or fight for world titles, but in credit to him, it's come at a perfect time, and like you say, he said yes.
Generally, I like to make fights that do get made. I know I set myself up for a penalty there, but no, generally those sort of fights have to get made. That's what's been ordered. I'd get it if I don't know, Rocky Balboa was waiting around the corner, but this is the fight we need to make to get to that next stage, in our opinion, as a team. And Troy obviously stands in the way of that as the champion with the British belt. But these British titles are, for me, now as valuable as certain eliminators, because they put you into that spotlight. We'll be live on terrestrial television in the UK, probably doing record numbers of the year, or expecting record numbers of the year, certainly. And what a fight it should be that night to also advertise boxing, and that puts Josh right up there, and I think closes that chapter that people still talk all the time about, this past of the Avanesyan fight and this, that and the other, which early in his career, it's a few years ago now. Let's move on. Yeah, but December the 2nd, from a perception point of view, at least we'll do that. He's moved on a long time ago, but from a public perception point of view, this will close the chapter on that. Okay,
Sam Jones at the press conference mentioned Josh Kelly is the man with more pressure on his shoulders.
Yeah, he also, Sam Jones gave us 3 rounds. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So by my Sam Jones multiplier, that means 3 times 12. We've already won 36 rounds going into this, so I'm delighted. He gave us 3 rounds at the presser. Fantastic. What else did he say?
The pressure's on Josh's shoulder.
Yeah, no, I can see that as well, Sam. Totally agree. So my man is the right side of 30, yours is the wrong side of 30. Absolutely, no. I'll take his point there. The pressure's all on us. It's all on us.
But seriously speaking, do you believe?
No, let's be serious. It's not.
Okay, let's go serious.
Let's get real, man. I love Sam, but no, the pressure ain't on us.
What would Josh do either side of this fight with a win, or you have to say there's a potential you can lose any fight?
I refuse.
You're question. A promoter. You should.
I will refuse that question. I only talk victory, and I'm not doing it on the sly to refuse the question, people. I'm publicly saying I refuse to answer that question because we talk victory here.
Okay, fair enough.
So we're going to win in style in Newcastle. Now, we're then going to have the biggest after party that Newcastle has ever seen, and then we're going to go on and we're going to beat Charlo and Sue next year.
Okay, interesting. Good to hear. If you were promoting Chisora against Fury,
you weren't expecting that, were you?
If you were promoting Chisora against Fury,
you weren't expecting
you
that.
still wouldn't have said no to a defeat if you were promoting
listen,
Chisora.
at the end of the day, listen, of course you've always got a plan B, obviously, but no, Josh is going to win this fight. But it's going to be it's a good fight, like I said. Yeah. But do I have a plan B as a promoter? Of course, always.
I just want to.
Am I going to talk about it now? No.
That's fine. We can move on quickly. Just in a nutshell this time. David Avanesyan does get his shot against Terence Crawford at a weird time, but just what do you think of that fight? Comes out of nowhere.
Well, I think Avanesyan's a very, very good boxer. Actually, he reminds me a bit. He's also got the Armenian heritage, like Arthur Abraham, who I promoted from his first to his last fight. 3 world titles, 2 weight divisions, one of the best middleweights. Arthur wasn't the same at super middleweight for me, but he was one of the best middleweights around. Different styles, but there's some very big similarities between them. Both got lead in both hands. Not literally, and it's a good fight. I do think that Crawford's skill is on another level, but Avanesyan, trust me, those Armenians are tough. So I think it also also shows, going back to Josh, that weren't a blowout when he fought Avanesyan. It was too early in the career, but also at the same time, people didn't know that much about Avanesyan. So, I wish Avanesyan all the best in that fight. He's obviously the outsider, but never write off an Armenian. Believe me, I've worked with them for years and years. They're tough as they come.
Okay, I did overhear you, and you mentioned Harlem Eubank.
Who was I talking to?
Last
I overheard
interview, and I overheard.
It was an interview.
Yes,
I was like, I overheard him. Okay, I thought you were going to call me and he was saying there. Wow. Okay, shoot.
So I wasn't listening on the meeting, but Harlem Eubank the night Friday next month.
Yeah.
You said there was going to be a special sort of night. It's not just going to be boxing on.
So it was in the middle of the World Cup. So we fought, first of all, to celebrate Harlem Eubank, and I'm so proud of Harlem Eubank. First ever headline show on Channel 5 terrestrial television at the iconic York Hall against someone who's very, very tough opponent. What do you make of that fight?
Yeah, I think it's good. I like the fact that Liam Williams is back on the bill as well.
I like to throw things back at.
I'm prepared.
Liam Williams
for it,
back. You've got Liam Williams in a very good fight. Then you've also got Chloe Watson. Yeah. Bring down. She's got an amazing travelling army. So it's going to have that sort of vibe to it, anyways. But on top of that, we're going to have a break between the box. So we're going to have an early boxing segment, and then we're going to have a football segment. We've got special screens up in the venue, and then we're going into the main card of the boxing. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be really good fun. 25th, and it's Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night in the East End. Big night out.
Sounds fun. In all seriousness, though, it's a great fight for Harlem. Do you think we will see him fight for a British title, though, at super lightweight?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk about Dalton Smith. We've got to get past Farrell first. That's a good fight.
No,
Farrell's a live opponent. It's a tough weight. Yeah, I've had Dalton Smith box on a show of ours over in Austria. Lovely guy, lovely group of people around him. Good fighter, very good fighter. So's Harlem. Sound quite similar. I'd argue now, just promotionally, commercially speaking, obviously Harlem will be headlining a show on Channel 5.
Yeah.
Massive reach, massive audience. So commercially, he's the A side on that fight. So they'd argue with that. So we'd have, to make that fight right now would be quite tricky.
Okay.
Because I think it's a bit early still to make it, but at the same time they want it. Eddie has my number, I think.
Of course, I'd imagine so.
So yeah.
Okay. Just quickly to round off, people still interested in what's going to happen with Chris Eubank Jr. Next up, do you now believe we'll be looking at other options as opposed to Conor Benn?
No real change there, I have to prepare for everything. They've got their thing ongoing, but at the same time, I need to look after our man. Our man needs to get out, They've got their investigation ongoing. I guess it's a fair assessment, as everyone has to see what comes out of that, and that'll be eventually public. Yeah. But I know no more than that at the moment. So my focus now is looking at what our plan B, and also how does that line up with our next year that we had planned anyways. I don't want it disrupting next year. We were planning to take Conor Benn out on October the 8th and march into next year. I still need that plan for next year to be in place.
So, for example, because of the time and effort put into that fight, obviously money and all sorts of things, we were so close to it. Do you feel like it would be a waste? Do you still want to try and make that fight? Or is the kind of plan A now that next year stays the same?
No, I mean, you know, we need to see what comes out of the investigation, of course. You know, if he's, you know, depending on what comes out of the investigation, if it was a positive, in terms of a positive news coming out of the investigation, another positive. Watch my quotes there. But of course, I mean, it's a massive fight, you know. But at the same time, I can't rely on that, can I? You know? So that's what it is. Okay,
and last question for you: if Chris is to fight someone else, who would you say is the right name next? So not next year.
That depends on the timing of it, because we know the big names we want. We know we want, you know, Golovkin, Canelo. Well, those are names he wants. But at the same time, you know, you've got to look at how the timing of that. You know, Golovkin fight's not going to drop on our lap in you know, December, is it? You know, so we have to look at maybe another fight in between if that's the case. And now, you know, I've heard the names: Liam Smith, Felix Cash. Who else was bandy rap? Mongolia. There was another.
Liam Smith would be easy, you'd think, because he seems very up for it potentially.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's up for it. Because it's a good payday, isn't it? You know, but on his last performance, there was not much to go on. At the same time, he probably overlooked it, thinking that he's going to get this fight next somehow. I don't know what his deal is. So that's something that I can't really comment on. I like Liam, I like the whole Smith family. I've done a lot of work with and for the Smiths over the years. But that's a fight, yeah, of course. Felix Cash, also undefeated. A lot of talk around him. I must admit, I've never seen him live.
Do you worry, being as that they're from the same gym, just on a different note? Same gym,
yeah, I thought about that. At the end of the day, the fighter doesn't fight for the gym, so he has to, he would have his own, his own team around him. Obviously, they're the same trainer, but from that point of view, that wouldn't be of concern to me. No, but again, he's one of many different names and options that we look at, and it might be a case of none of those, and we look at straight into a bigger one. I'm not sure yet exactly on that path, but that's something that I have to sit down with Junior and discuss, which is taking place right now.
I once again appreciate your honesty, Kalle. It's good to catch up. Looking forward to December the 2nd.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.